My name is Van Dorn Johnson. I'm a member of the Corps and Fire Department for 35 years, and I spent 10 years in the Hart Park Fire Department. It's something I've always wanted to do my whole life. I never looked back. I have to go back to 9/11. That was probably the most incredible day. I was working in Ladder 124 in Brooklyn, and we saw it on TV like everybody else. We were all working on our tools at the time, and when the first plane hit, we all thought it was, maybe an accident. When the second plane hit, we immediately got called. And I remember driving over I wasn't driving, I remember being on the truck and just looking at the towers going over the bridge. It was something nobody could really comprehend. And we were very fortunate when we got there. We had to make one stop at another firehouse. And the anxiety of everybody just trying to get there. And those 5-10 minutes probably saved our lives, because the first tower started coming down, we just took off. And when we got there, it was just total, we couldn't see anything really. We had to stop because we got hit with that blast of dust, which nobody realized. It was like hurricane force winds, and we walked up. We were at a firehouse, which we didn't even know was a firehouse at the time, across the street from the South Tower. But the whole serenity of it was just out of this world. And we were there when the North Tower came down, and I believe to this day, if we didn't stop for those 5 or 10 minutes, we would have been walking up to that North Tower. Unfortunately, looking back on it, besides the devastation and all the lives that were lost, that was my son's first day as a fireman. That was his very first fire. And I had called him when I left the firehouse. I said, "You better get into work." He was being assigned to a company in the city. He just got out of fire academy the day before. So he had his gear with him, and knowing my son, he drove right to the scene. And what I felt terrible about was later on, is that he was told by a chief and 2 other fellows from my company that drove in. He was told by the chief that they found our truck, but they couldn't find us. And he said where our truck was located and where the towers had fallen, he told them that we were probably all killed. So my son went around that whole day thinking I was dead, and finally about 1 o'clock in the morning, somebody came up to me and said, "Your son is really pretty crushed," because somebody told him early on I was killed. And I finally met up with him. We had a pretty emotional reunion. But that day was probably, I can't really put into words the way I want it to be, but it was the most devastating and most horrendous thing I've ever seen in my life.